in your mouth.
Wish you could slide into my mind and make me mine. Push play rewind. Let's whip outside, and so am I. You wanna slide like dynamite? Lay your eyes on me, find out with me, baby. Yeah, next round on you. I'll take the two. Be good to you. My appetite. Turn my hair with a side flip. I know you like it. Baby, go and earn it. First day, first visit. Let me draw your map so you know where you're at. Like to attract, and you react. Lay your eyes on me, find out with me, baby. Yeah, next round on you. I'll put the two. Be good to you. My appetite. Lay your eyes on me, hang out with me, baby. Yeah, next round on you. I'll take the two. Be good to you. My appetite.
Come on, David, and once again he's gone to code a new strategy. He'll be back in just 5 minutes. RSI and MACD. If he doesn't run into any bugs, there will be a new strategy. Come on, David, hurry up. Come on, David, show us what you got. Come on, David, our patience running out. Come on, David, show us what you got.
Hey traders, I hope you're going extremely well. Welcome back to my channel where we're going to be going through everything that I've pretty much learned about algo trading since the beginning. Welcome guys, I hope you're going well. Let me remove this off the screen. Hopefully this button here will work. No, it didn't. Let's try another one here. Hi guys, how you all going? Nice to see you all. Welcome again, like I said, to the channel. I'm going to be going through today everything I've learned from algo trading, hopefully helping you get you started as algo traders. Everything about David Tech, how to set things up from strategies, building your own strategies, setting them up, adding them to creating a connection between TradingView and over to your exchange, backtesting, optimizing, and everything else that I could possibly think of from A to Z in algo trading. It's going to be a long old drive. I hope everybody can hear me. Let's have a look here. Hi Vlad, hi Bunny, how are you all going? Good to see everybody. William, how are you going? Good to see you. David, great name. How are you going, mate? Fantastic. Thank you very much, Vlad. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be going through. There's lots of slides, lots of things to be going through. So I'm going to start pretty rapidly with the old disclaimer. I'm not an scientist, a financial advisor, guys. I'm literally here backtesting, forward testing, and trading my own portfolio here live on YouTube and also on X. As I learn things, I just kind of put them out there and test them and give my ideas and things like that, my feedback. But not a scientist. Is it financial advice to anybody? Please do your own due diligence. Oh, that was a good one. And don't forget to test your strategies before actually going live with them. Also, a lot of fake Davids out there. Please be very careful. I will never, ever ask for you to send me a Bitcoin and I'll send you 2 Bitcoin back or anything like that. Not in the slightest. There is no David Tech hedge fund or anything like that. just strategies on TradingView. The only way to actually support the community is through patreon.com or through David Tech, the website itself. Okay, so as I said earlier, we're going to be going through getting started as an algo trader. There's quite a lot to be going through. So if you have any questions at any point, please don't hesitate to ask. I've got Vlad and William ready to answer any questions in the chat. I've got myself here. If I can answer the question, of course I will answer the question. So please don't hesitate to ask at any point in the chat. If you're on Twitter, you can come over to YouTube and you'll be able to find us on YouTube. We're live there as well, where you'll be able to ask a question, or you could go to Discord, discord.gg/DavidTech, and you can ask your questions there. Today, we're going to go through who am I? What is algo trading? Our plan as algo traders, as Botify. I'll go through what Botify is. The website David Tech, which will be going through the connector from TradingView over to your exchanges. We're going to look at optimization, incubation, and live trading. We're going to go through everything. There's about 200 slides, so I hope that you're ready. Strap yourselves in. Get yourself a coffee because you're going to need one. I certainly have got a coffee here and a big jug of water, ready to go through all of these slides and go through that I learned. I should imagine this is going to be about 2 hours once I've finished the live stream. We're going to edit this up into smaller clips, so it'll be a bit more digestible for anybody who wants to go back and watch at any time. So let's get this party started. Off we go. My name's David. Who am I? My name's David. I've been coding since the age of 13. I've owned several businesses, all in the developing world. Developers building scripts, building like apps for iPhone and things like that. I was lucky enough to have been, I was sent Bitcoin for a payment when it was around $500 through absolute luck. And that's how I started getting interested in the crypto world myself. I started off as a discretional trader, trading manually, and I was losing money rapidly, to be honest, as a discretional trader. Support and resistance, ABC patterns, all of that kind of thing. I was trading, whether it started with MACDs, RSIs, and all of that, like everybody else. I was losing money trading until it hit me that my alpha was in something that I absolutely loved, and that was code, developing trading strategies and being able to backtest them and actually test them before actually bringing them to live markets. This brought to me very much to another YouTube channel called Trade Pro. If you don't know about it, I suggest you go and have a look. Trade Pro helped me sort of find my edge. He built his own scripts, and I kind of used them for inspiration to build my own platform and own scripts. This is when I started David Tech with the aim of backtesting trading strategies and logging all of my results that I find on a YouTube channel. It popped off. There's lots of people. It was mainly really to find my own edge at first and meet some like-minded people. But it's gone quite haywire recently. We've got quite a few subscribers there now. But yeah, that's why I really started it. It was for backtesting strategies. There's over 500. No, there's over 100. No, there's over 130 traded strategies that have actually been backtested. And we've actually got on our website over 700, which are currently live trading in the incubation period, which I'll go through a bit later what an incubation period is. So today, as I said earlier, we are 9,000 members in a Discord, talking like-minded people looking for our edge as algo traders or bot traders, however you want to put it. We're 9,000 people talking together in a trading platform, in a trading Discord, where we're all talking to each other about algo trading, which was my main idea and what I was really aiming for. So I'm very, very proud of what we managed to get through to today. And then on top of that, we've also built an amazing elite backtesters group where we're all working together to actually find the best possible settings using the optimizer. All of these things, if you don't know what they are, the elite backtesters, the optimizer, and all of those kind of things, I will be going through them as I go along on this live stream. So I'm very proud of that as well. We're working out to find best settings. There are, as I said earlier, 700 live trading strategies on the website davidtech.com, where they're all live trading in a trading journal, and that's all very much thanks to the subgroup of David Tech called the Elite Backtesters. We also got to meet some amazing people and some mentors from the journey, which I wouldn't have been able to maybe meet if I didn't have the David Tech channel. They've all been brought into our live chat inside the Discord. People like Kevin Davey, we've been following also people that were outside of the group, like the NNFX. All of these kind of people that I've met or haven't met, but have been inspired by on my journey, which I wouldn't have been able to if I didn't have the David Tech channel, which has really opened my horizon and helped me to learn a lot about algo trading myself. So enough about me. Let's get cracking. Let's talk about algo trading and what algo trading is and how we use it to find the best entries and build our algo trading strategies. So what is algo trading, systematic trading, or bot trading, or indicator trading? It's a rules-based trading system where we put all of the rules into a coded system, which takes either our entries automatically on a trading exchange, a broker, very much like Bybit or something like that. But we're able to not only take the trades automatically, we are also able to backtest our trading strategies without having to calculate everything manually, draw them on a chart. Everything is done by computers, which I consider to be a lot more accurate, because we always have human biases to when you get a trade that you think might just about get in and it's a winning trade, or might have not got in and it was a losing trade. Those kind of biases always kind of give us a winning strategy or a losing strategy when we feel like it should be or not. Human psychology and all of that kind of thing help us to cheat a little bit, unfortunately, on our trading strategies. But with computers, they're rules based. Everything is set in rules before we send it to backtest. And once those rules are set, we can then put it into a trading journal and journal everything with rules and everything set in code, ready for us to trade journal it. And then also when it gets to the day that we put it into live trading, everything can either be sent as alerts to a smartphone or directly over to the exchange, and all of the entries can be made 100% automatically. That's what I do. I'm a bot trader. I'm an automated trader. I do everything automatically. I do not take any trades whatsoever manually. Not saying that I don't buy spot with things like Bitcoin and things like that. But personally, any trading, any scalping strategies, day trading strategies, or anything like that are all done 100% through automated algo trading. Our plan, Botify. We stick to this plan when building our trading strategies. Building a trading strategy from ideas, generally with the David Tech strategies, but when only two David Tech strategies, you can actually use strategies outside of the David Tech platform. We will put them into incubation and put them in to be able to connect them as well. Optimize the trading strategies to find the best settings. Trading strategies will not work on all coin pairs, especially in crypto, will not work on all exchanges, especially in crypto and Forex. Those kind of things, it's absolutely impossible. When you see on YouTube or whatever it is that this trading strategy will work on all altcoins, all of the Bitcoin and Ethereum, and these are the settings. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, these are the things that I personally have learned. No indicator have I ever come across will ever give you the entry for every single pair, no matter what the creator actually tells you. So optimizing, finding the best or better settings for each and every, the most robust settings for each and every coin pair. We're going to be looking to backtest using the TradingView backtester and using the deep backtesting as much as possible. We're then going to put it into the incubate, which is going to be the incubation period, which trade journals are live trades on after the actual backtesting. So it's an out of sample period, maybe 3 months, which also I'll go through in a bit later. We're going to fuse, which means we're going to connect it to your exchange via David Tech. because we need middleman services to connect directly from the trading view over to your exchange. So we'll go through that as well. And then hopefully yielding your returns, coming back and looking to see whether it's working the way it should do and all of that kind of thing. So this is Botify. This is our process. The strategy, optimize. So we've got the S strategy, optimize, test, incubate. Then we take a decision whether it's going to be run on live markets. We then look at the results, and if it isn't, if they're as we expected, we continue, and we will go through the process afterwards of how we actually decide whether a trading strategy is something that we will run and continue, or we will destroy. So this is the process we take here on David Tech. Very, very simple. First of all, let's go through some of the tools that we need to become algo traders. Now, it depends what your level of code is. I personally have chosen TradingView. Now, the reason I've chosen TradingView is it's very, very, very user friendly. It has all of the data ready for us to be able to trade, and it has its own language called PineScript. We can connect over to these exchanges using a middleman service, Bybit, 2Bit, and Blowfin, and plenty of other exchanges that are out there. They're just a couple that I've picked up the icons for. Okay, so a couple of pros and cons to TradingView. It's very user-friendly. Like I said earlier, it's easy to navigate. It's easy to see backtesting results. It's very easy to backtest a trading strategy. It has quite a few advanced features that you wouldn't find maybe on a standard Python script or something like that. Like I said earlier, it's very, very user-friendly. You don't have to know any code whatsoever to get a chart up and running and to import all of the data. There's a wide range of free and open source indicators, which is absolutely brilliant. It means that we don't have to code all of those indicators to start building a trading strategy. We have access to real-time data instantly without having to download it from the exchange and code each one of them manually. It's all there ready for us. One thing I absolutely love, which goes with the open source indicators, is the community. There's a huge community around TradingView and its indicators. Every day there's new indicators and new ideas being built. So you just literally have to go over to the most popular ideas and most recent ideas, and you can see that people are innovating and building new indicators. Now, there is a couple of cons, obviously, the limited amount of backtesting we can do. The TradingView backtester seems a bit slower than if you were using something like Victor BT or something like that for Python, but it is very simple. So we kind of way in, way out of one thing, and yeah, so sometimes there's pros and sometimes there's cons, and that is unfortunately one of them. There's a limited amount of data. Things like you can't get tick data. You can only get close, high, low, close, and open from the data from TradingView. There is no custom coding. You can't import Python or anything like that into it. It is PineScript, and that is it. Limited automation. Without middleman services, it is very hard to trade things like leverage and things like that inside of TradingView. It's very, very hard to automate all of that. And the actual fee of TradingView can be considered quite high for a platform. When you look at Python, which can be free, TradingView can be considered a little bit expensive. Here are the prices. As you can see, they do have a basic plan, but unfortunately for algo traders, you will have to go most probably up to the premium if you're serious about it, the premium version. It's no affiliation. It's just my point of view. It's $59.99 per month, I think. And may even have changed recently. But that gives us the right to have 25 indicators on the chart and allow us to have quite a few charts in the background. We're allowed to create alerts, which allow us to set up the middleman service, allowing us to auto trade as well. So those kind of things make it possible to be able to do everything automatically in a systematic fashion. So it depends where you are in your journey. I personally think that the deep backtesting results are worth it. Being able to backtest the data as far as we possibly can is worth it. That's why I have a premium account myself. And all of the team members inside David Tech also have premium membership as well. So as you can see, I think it's worth it. Is TradingView required to be part of the David Tech group? No, you can actually use the copy bots, but it really is recommended that if you're serious to go away and have a charting platform and not just rely on the kind of signals from the bots as such. So let's have a look very quickly at the actual platform. I'm going to pull up another screen just here like this. And we're going to go over to TradingView, which unfortunately I didn't actually open first of all. Let's go here. Let's go to tradingview.com. Tradingview.com. I'm not going to go into a deep look into TradingView. It's just going to be a very higher end overview, just so you can see the features that we use as algo traders. If we go up here and click on super charts here, we've got our chart with the most recent charts. We have indicators up the top here. We have our coin pair up the top here, our time frame, and lots of things to draw, lots of things all over your chart. Not that as algo traders, you really need those kind of things. But if you're into drawing on your charts, they're all there. As you can see, it's very responsive and real-time data. The candles are coming in and at real time, as you can see here. Indicators is where we're going to be looking. We're going to be adding the David Tick indicators here. Like I said, there's a couple of hundred of them. We'll be in the invite-only section on the side here because all of them are invite. We have a huge selection of free indicators as well, but I'll go through that a bit later on. As I was saying earlier, the community is where I get a lot of inspiration from. If we go over to the top and trending section over here, you can see all of the indicators that are top and trending. Yeah, believe it or not, top and trending indicators that are what the community considers most important now. And you can find quite a lot of inspiration from all of this. Now, if you go down, you'll be able to find some strategies. Strategies have this little icon on the side here. And the difference between a strategy and a strategy and an indicator is really a calculation with just a drawing. You have no entries or exits or things like that. Potentially you can, but there is no real back testing. With strategies, we have this back testing panel at the bottom here where we can back test the trading strategy. We have all of its performance summary, performance, list of trades, and the properties all in these tabs down below. Over the side here, we have the alerts section where we can actually set up alerts. We can see our log. These alerts are what we're going to connect later into our exchange so that the exchange can automatically trade our trading strategy for us. So as you can see, it's quite complete. There's lots and lots of features that I won't be able to go through. If we're looking to build our own scripts, we can use this Pine script editor down the bottom here. And if this one is open source, we can actually even see the source behind this code here. And you can see the code that the developers actually built. So yeah, pretty complete. There's lots of features. Like I said, I'm very much a high-end overview. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm sure you guys know TradingView anyway. I'm just going through what I know, what the very, very basics. Okay, back over here. I have added this slide here, so I do remember to go over to look at this, the actual TradingView platform and things like that. Anyway, right. Adding David Tick strategies couldn't be easier. We're going to go over, like I said, they're a invite-only scripts. If you're a David Tick member, all you have to do is go back over to the screen over here. We're going to go over to David Tick, and you can click on TradingView strategies here. By clicking here, you'll have a list of all of the strategies. Like I said earlier, there's a couple of hundred of them. Just literally click Add to TradingView here, enter your TradingView name here, and click Submit. Then go back over to TradingView, and you'll be able to go over to the indicators, and you'll be able to find us in the invite-only section just here, where you'll be able to find all of the David Tick strategies here. As you can see here, there's plenty of them. And you'll be able to find not only that on the David Tick website, you'll be able to find links to the actual script, and also a link to the video where I go through all of the indicators that are behind it, etc. A bit later on, I will also talk about the free indicators. There's a free indicator section up here where you'll be able to find all of the indicators that are involved in every single strategy that I've built for the past 6 months. You'll be able to find them there, where you'll be able to find them, and they're all open source and free for you to be able to use. Okay, back over to here. So once you have the David Tick strategies here, we have the strategy. Okay, that's it. Right, back over here. So once you have your David Tick strategy on your chart, It's understanding what's actually behind it. We actually need to know what's actually going on. Let's have a look at very quickly this, which I did anyway, the David Tick strategies. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, guys. Anyway, so yeah, the David Tick strategies, adding to David Tick to TradingView. I just did that. So this is going to be good because I can actually now go a bit ahead, and we've saved a little bit of time. Okay, so yes, right. So when you're looking at David Tick strategies, you often hear about the boilerplate and but what is the boilerplate? Now, the boilerplate I actually coded for ease for me to be able to build trading strategies easily on TradingView. The idea was that I have a structure around all of my trading strategies, and the only thing that I really need to take a look at is the actual entry points. Everything else, including risk management and risk management, etc., are all built into the boilerplate. So it's kind of like having a template ready for me to build all of these trading strategies. And the boilerplate is built on the foundation of 7 blocks to build a good trading strategy. The first block is the actual trading signal. Now, the trading signals are mainly based on NNFX. We have a baseline, some confirmation indicators, and some volatility or volume indicators. So we have a couple of indicators all together building our entries put together. When we have the baseline is our trend direction. It can be a trend line. It can be a moving average like the T3, or channels or something like that that will give us whether or not the trend is bullish or bearish. Generally, it looks back on a certain period and tells us whether that period has actually been bullish or bearish for over that time. We then have our volatility and volume indicators to make sure that there's enough movement in the market, and hopefully we have our confirmation. These two are the wrong way around. Then we have our confirmation indicators. Normally there's 2 or more indicators. They generally are crossover or oversold and overbought indicators, or maybe a 0 line cross. So if you imagine, for example, a MACD crossing over the 0 line, or an RSI going into an oversold or an overbought section. That would be our confirmation indicator. We generally use around 2 confirmation indicators. So we're looking for a baseline to be bullish and then 2 confirmation indicators to take those actual entries. And if I go back to this slide here, then we add to complement that a volatility or volume indicator, which allows us to make sure there's enough movement in the market and not too much in either. So we're kind of finding the best spot to actually trade. We don't want it to be dumping so much that we could be stopped out as it reverses, or just going too quick, or just one big candle or something like that. We want enough movement in the market, but obviously not too much to be knocked out. Then we have our risk management. Now, all of the David Tick strategies also have a full risk management section around them, allowing us to set our stop losses, limit the max drawdown, max losses in a row, things like the maximum amount of a stop loss or something like that. All of those kind of things are built into the boilerplate itself. Step 3 into the 7 pillars of a good trading strategy is position sizing. Now, I believe this is probably a hidden gem that a lot of the trading strategies on TradingView do not have. Nobody really thinks about the position sizing. Everybody thinks about the entries. Nobody cares really about how much you're going into markets at certain periods. These are rules that define whether or not how much we're actually taking as a trade, or the size position of this trade. Dependent on volatility, we could have a much bigger or a much smaller position, depending on how long you're in the trade and all of those kind of things. The position is very, very important. And I think, like I said earlier, I've had a dynamic position added to David Tick boilerplate for about 1.5 years now. And it's made a heck of a lot of difference. It really is a hidden power. Actually being able to work out whether or not to have a much smaller position because the trade is a lot less sure, or a much bigger position because there's a lot more movement in the market, really helps to create much more reliable trading strategies. So let's go over to 4. Our fourth pillar is our exit signal. So this is where we are exiting our trade, whether it's a stop loss, a take profit target, a trailing stop loss, or a time-based exit, or maybe a forced exit because of an indicator crossover or something like that. These signals are as important as the entries and can save a trading strategy. Having a forced exit when a crossover of two MAs happen, or having a trading stop loss or multiple take profits can actually make a trading strategy profitable or not. Each and every one of these you have to take into account the actual capabilities of TradingView, trading stop losses, multiple take profits, and things like that are not always the best things to trade inside of TradingView. So you do have to understand what is good inside of TradingView and the limitations of your trading platform. But that is our next pillar of the successful trading, or the good trading strategy. Market selection. Now, these are kind of outside of the boilerplate, but market selection is something that's important, and market conditions are something that I believe should be put into your trading strategy, and not something that you should be selecting afterwards. So obviously the market selection is where you're selecting either stocks, forex, crypto, or commodities. Market conditions and which broker. So a lot of algo traders may or may not activate a bot because of market conditions. I personally think that an indicator should tell us what market conditions are, and it should also stop the bot itself. Then you have to choose which broker. Like I said earlier, no trading strategies that I know of will work on all brokers, especially in crypto and things like that. They all react completely differently to market conditions and to volume and things like that. On one broker, you may have much bigger candles than another broker when volume comes in and things like that. And with bigger candles means different reactions on those indicators. You might end up in an oversold area much quicker on an RSI on Bybit than you do on OKX or something like that. So that is why it is important to understand what you're trading on, what broker, and things like that. As I said earlier, I think that market conditions should be put into the code. Manually closing bots and things like that could be a recipe for nightmare. Diversification is also very, very important. Being able to run multiple strategies on multiple pairs, on different markets, on different time frames, on different asset classes, spreading risk and reducing dependency on a single approach. And I think this is really very much our edge as algo traders. We can trade as many as much as we can afford with the size of our wallet. There are some limitations which I'll discuss a bit later on, but yeah, it really is our edge, being able to not see in front of a screen and be able to trade multiple pairs, multiple time frames, multiple strategies, which I think is absolutely amazing. Being able to build maybe a grid bot, maybe a strategy that's very much like my strategies, trend following strategies, crossover strategies, anything like that kind of thing. You can trade lots of different kinds of strategies on different markets, on different time frames, hopefully spreading your risk when 2 or 3 strategies are winning. Maybe you have one that's in drawdown, and hopefully those wins will cover your loss. And diversification, I think, is probably one of your most important. One of your most important. The most important. Sorry, somebody just sent a message across. Diversification is probably one of your most important superpowers. I really do think it is the best. Okay, so right, I'm going to continue on. We're going quite well here, guys. Monitoring, being able to monitor, which thanks to TradingView, we are able to monitor the performance pretty easily thanks to the backtester. Evaluating the trading strategies performance, not only in backtesting, but in live markets. This is something that needs to be coded into strategy if you're not actually building on TradingView. If you're building on TradingView, it's all part of TradingView. So part of the boilerplate. Right, let's have a look into the boilerplate. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to show you very quickly what's behind the boilerplate. Let's share this screen here. Hopefully that's the one. Right, okay. So the DavidTech boilerplate, I'm going to remove this one here and bring up the boilerplate here. Okay, so the DavidTech boilerplate, first of all, as I was saying earlier, gives you all of the stats that you'd need to be able to come back and have a look at the trading strategy to see if it's reacting the way you expect it to, whether it's your win rate. I'm trying to get rid of this chart over here so you can, whether it's your win rate, your total prof, max wins in a row, you get this dashboard over here. So you can see how your trading strategy is performing. You've got your monthly RNI here over in the corner over here. And not only that, of course, most importantly, you do have the trading view back tester. When put into live trading, you can go over to the boilerplate and set up the live trading down the bottom here so that it will actually only take into account new trades instead of not all of these back tested trades. So you can actually see from the point of live trading all of the results and see how things are going. As I said earlier, we have a section in the middle here, which is our entry points. So you have all of the indicators that are involved in the entry of your trading strategy. Now, this is generally what we're going to be optimizing on. We're going to be optimizing this area here, anything below the main strategy settings here. We're going to be optimizing this. This is our entry settings. But like I said earlier, it's very important to have a risk management area. We have also our multiple take profits, the max drawdowns. We have been able to set to make break even. We have what I said earlier, the minimum amount of take profit, which is extremely important when you're using things like ATRs and higher highs, lower lows, and things like that. Having that minimum take profit threshold, I think, is very important, because if you're getting a 0.01% take profit and you're getting a 100% win rate, that's great, but you're going to get eaten by fees anyway from by Bybit or Blowfin or whatever it is your trading strategy, your exchanges. They've got fees, and if your take profit isn't big enough, you certainly will be eaten by the fees. The maximum stop loss also, I think, is absolutely essential. As you can see here, it is actually set to do not enter if the maximum threshold is over 3.5%. Yeah, that is great. I personally would do an optimization on 5% and then bring it down to a reasonable level like this 3.5% after the optimization. This allows for us to choose whether or not to take a trade if that threshold is broken. So if the stop loss is bigger than 3.5%, here we will not take any trades whatsoever. Or we could just set it to a percentage, that percentage below, if it's above that. And you'll be able to back test on that, which is absolutely essential. Now, we also have an area for setting our leverage, making sure that we're not liquidated. All of those kind of things are baked into the DavidTech boilerplate, which I think makes it the powerful tool that it is today. We have things like maximum drawdown, total drawdown, maximum days, losing days, wins, losses in a row, maximum trades in a row. All of those kind of things are baked into it. It's a long old list, but certainly is worth looking at. We have different ways of setting our stop losses and take profits. I often use the ATR and risk to reward. As you can see here on this one here, it wasn't me that made this one. This one is using a risk to reward of 1.65, and we have an ATR band of 2.25. Now, this may be overfit, it may not. This is just an example, guys, for you to look at. And then we go over to the next part, which is going to be over here. Other things you should know about is the property tabs. The property tabs is over here. I'm not sharing the right screen here. Just bear me 2 seconds. Right, no, there's two other things that need to be known about DavidTech. All of the indicators, like I said earlier, are on davidtech.com. If you go over to davidtech.com and go up to the free indicators up here, they're all based on free open source indicators. I put the list in here so you can find them. I've actually adapted all of these indicators so that they have a green or red background when they're actually taking their entries. You can see the entries. I've also added them so that they've set them up so they're built in the same way as they are inside the boilerplate. So if you're looking for the indicators to build your own indicators, build your own setups, there's a huge free list on davidtech.com/indicators. If you go there, you'll be able to find the list of indicators where you'll be able to see. If we go back over to this presentation, the next thing that I was going to talk about was the property tab. Property tabs, always things that are important on the property tab as part of the boilerplate or any trading view strategy is to look at and add commission and slippage. Now, slippage is quite hard to work out. Depends on, there's a couple of indicators that I will put into which are in the boilerplate for estimating the actual slippage. If you go down to the bottom, I'm not sure on this one because it may be a bit old. On most of the new David Tech strategies, you can estimate the slippage here. There's normally a checkbox at the bottom, so you can estimate slippage. Slippage is quite hard. It depends on lots of factors. So the only way really is to work out an average slippage for your exchange over time. You go over to, I need to share my right screen here. I didn't go to right screen. Sorry guys, so you have to go all the way down to the bottom. There should be a slippage checkbox at the bottom here, which would estimate your slippage. Then you can go over to your properties tab here, and you can go down to commission and slippage. Now on Bybit, I currently have a VIP account, which is at 0.04% commission. And then you generally need to put the slippage in here, which will add slippage to your backtest result. This one currently hasn't got anything on it, but it is essential. If you have a premium account on TradingView, you also have access to use bar magnifier. Now this uses lower time frames to better estimate your backtesting results. So instead of having just the high, low, open, close for our entries, we also get some estimated tick data from lower time frames. I activate it. I don't activate it by default because if you don't have it when you add my strategies, they will not work because it's automatically added as default. So they're not on as the default. So come back in here and turn it on. It doesn't really make much difference to David Tech strategies because all entries are actually made on the following candle. So as you can see here, following candle. The only thing that would really make a difference are things like trailing stop losses. If you're using a trailing stop loss, that will make a difference. It will help you to get a better estimation of how that trailing stop loss would have exited. Because if you're using a trailing stop loss and you've got your trail was up here in the candle over here, you would actually on TradingView be estimated down here, being stopped out here. The reason being is because the only data, like I said, is your high of the candle. So the high of the candle, the low of the candle, the open of the candle, and the close of the candle. So that's the only data that TradingView has. Now, if you add the bar magnifier on, you'll get data from lower time frames. So the 30-minute, the 15-minute, and 5-minute. Add it to this chart, and it will help to try and estimate a little bit better whether you were actually stopped out before the actual next candle. So that's how you can actually work this out. It'll help you get more precise results. There are some things in TradingView which I've got marked here as well. I'm over the last part of the slide there. Let me move myself off of the bow. Okay, so TradingView, as I said earlier, only has the open, high, low, close data. But I have actually added this table, as you can see, where it's trades to verify on the David Tech. Now, if this shows up on the TradingView chart here in this table over here, it means that somewhere in the backtesting results, there was a candle that hit the stop loss and the take profit at the same time on the candle. Now, TradingView will actually estimate the closest to the close of the candle and accept that as the actual fate of your trade. But it may have not happened like that. It may have actually happened that the stop loss was hit first and then the take profit afterwards, meaning you lost the trade. But as your actual open of the candle was actually closer to the take profit, it may be that TradingView has estimated that it is. So I've actually marked them up on the chart. There's a purple background on them. It comes up in the table up here to tell you there's a couple of trades that you need to verify. And either you can go into much lower time frame data to see whether or not what happened, or you can sort of say, okay, I don't know what happened there. If there's not too many of them, you can put it into your data, and hopefully it won't happen again. But obviously, live trading will be different anyway. I personally haven't really put any charts on my own personal trading in my own trading setups myself that have that, but it may happen. So please be aware that they're there. Okay. Continuing, guys, we're on slide 73, so we're doing well. We're doing well. How is everybody going? Good to see so many people watching. Right, strategy settings as default on Bybit strategies. None of them actually have this wonderful equity curve. They all come up with a message here saying, obviously, for the disclaimer of the Bybit strategies, these are how it works, etc., etc. You can find the settings in many places inside of Bybit. We're all sharing as we're going along, but they don't have default settings. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is, as I said earlier, my settings may not be the absolute best settings that we've found. There's plenty of fantastic strategy settings on the Bybit website and also on Discord where you can find them. They're easy to import. And the second is you may be on a completely different exchange or coin pair than me. And a lot of people will quite happily come and complain to me saying they look absolutely awful. And I'll say, or you might even be on a different package on TradingView than me. You might not have premium. So it's easier for me to say to you, there's the settings. These are the coin pairs that they work on a website. Click the copy chart and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Yeah. So anyway, we've been through the back tester. The next part will actually be optimized. I wanted to go through the actual back tester, but we've already had quite a deep look into the back tester. This is the back tester here, as I said, on a trading view. We've got all of the results from net profit to the number of closed trades, the win rate, the profit factor, max drawdowns, average trades, and all of that. Everything's there for you under your eyes. If you go over to the performance tabs, you can see whether your trading strategy performed better in longs or in shorts. You have your max drawdown, the buy and hold ratio, meaning that you would have purchased Bitcoin here, and today it would be actually 60% down. If we go over, we have a deep back tester, which allows us to back test this on even further data. By default, this was back tested up until 2022 in February. And now if we use the deep back tester, we're actually all the way back to 2021. And as you can see, the equity curve still looks great. As I said earlier, the buy and hold, meaning that if you would have purchased Bitcoin here, you would actually be down 39% as this strategy was up 605%. Your Sharpe ratio, Sortino ratio, and loads more other important data as you go along. Profit percentage, meaning win rate, your profit factor, which I think is pretty important. Any data that's on this first tab here, generally, I consider to be important. And as you dig deeper, you'll probably find some of this data you probably won't use as much. Average losses and average wins, as you'll see me live trade as of this week, you'll see to me that they're actually quite important because it's how I calculate my risk, knowing the average losses and things like how much I'm going to risk on each trade. I use these calculations to work out exactly how much of my account I'm going to be risking on each of my trades, because obviously these are actually ATR stop losses. So we need to roughly know how much we're going to be adding. Those kind of things are very important in our data. So back to the presentation. We've gone through the back tester, gone through all of that. A couple of things that we need to know as algo traders whilst using TradingView. Don't use Heikin-Ashi candles when back testing. They'll give you absolutely wonderful results. Problem is behind each and every Heikin-Ashi candle, you don't have just the the open high-low close. You actually have an algorithm that's creating those candles. The problem being is that TradingView does now have a button to be able to emulate the actual close. I don't have any trading strategies that use Heikin-Ashi candles because of previous experience. But do be careful using them, because the problem is when you get an alert, you'll probably get the alert late, because the alert should go off on the open of a candle. As I said earlier, the open is calculated on previous candles in the Heikin algorithm, which means that your entry will probably be either a lot higher or a lot lower than the actual Heikin candle inside of a real exchange, because the open is still the open, whether it's Heikin or not. So you probably will not get exactly the same price as you get on a Heikin candle. In the backtesting results, they generally look absolutely amazing. Real live trading look absolutely awful, and I would steer clear of them myself. Each package, as I said at the beginning of this presentation, has different data sets. Depending on what time frame you're on, you'll get many more candles inside of one package than other. I have access to deep back testing, which is a good since about a year and a half now. But not everybody does. So be careful. If you don't have enough data, I wouldn't trade it myself, or I'd put it onto a riskier account, knowing that I don't have that much data. As I said, also, each exchange will react differently to your trading strategy. If it's optimized on Bybit, it may not work on OKX, or it may not work on another exchange. So please steer away from trying to move your trade. It is a way of testing the robustness of your trading strategy, is moving it over to other timeframes and other exchanges. If it's giving data that hasn't seen before, and if it reacts well, that's great. But they will react differently. Don't try and trade a Bybit trading strategy on something that's been optimized on OKX without actually bank testing it on a Bybit chart, etc. Because it will it will react differently, and you'll only end up liquidating your account or something like that. You can't backtest indicators, although we have built a trading strategy called Botify, which allows you to backtest any indicator on TradingView, meaning that if there's somebody selling an indicator that reckons that it will work on any exchange or on any time frame, you can actually backtest it using Botify. But I'm not going to go through that today, but it was just a bit of a side note that you can't really test indicators unless you turn it into a strategy. So you've added your strategy. What's the next part to the trading strategy world? Next part is to optimize your trading strategy to find the best settings. So we've got our trading strategy on TradingView, and now we're going to optimize it. Optimizations. What is optimization of a trading strategy? Optimization is a fine-tuning to try and find the best results for a trading strategy. It involves using historical data to identify optimal parameters, using the optimization techniques to find your best performing strategy. It's important to understand a couple of things before going forward and optimizing, and that is your objective, what is overfitting and how to avoid it, how to validate a good trading strategy, and other techniques like out of sample and out of sample data, out of sample testing, and to ensure that your trading strategy is robust. So in more simple terms, if you had RSI and RSI trading strategy on your chart, it's changing the length of that RSI to find the optimal trading settings for that RSI trading strategy. So if you have, like I said, RSI on your chart and you're just playing with that length, changing it from the standard 14 to 15, 16, 17, and seeing if that length actually gives you more profit, which is potentially possible when you're moving over to assets like crypto that are in the market for 7 days a week. When you look at an RSI on a 10 level, maybe it is better to do a 14 because we are open 24/7. So yeah, so it is changing those lengths to try and find the optimal settings. Let me move myself again. So it's good to optimize, but as in most things in life, to fail to plan is a plan to fail. You need to put down in a text document or something like that. I've got one somewhere on the drive that I will share quite happily with everybody. Is my objectives of how to optimize and what I do. If you go over to Discord, they'll see also there's loads of shared documents by our community of their optimization plans and how they optimize trading strategies as well. So obviously everybody is different and everybody would expect different win rates from a trading strategy, different performance, different profitability from a trading strategy, and everybody has their own sort of how to put it everybody's has their own limits to risk, that kind of thing that will make a good trading strategy for you. I personally am trading a biggish amount in comparison to some people, or a small amount in comparison to a lot of other people. I don't particularly like huge drawdowns, which I'm sure a lot of you don't, but some people are more inclined to risk and would prefer sitting through those large drawdowns just to get a big win. I don't particularly like very, very low trading win rates, but could sit through a 45% win rate, knowing that my trading strategy has been fully back tested and is working on forward testing. I could sit through a 45% win rate, no problem whatsoever, and sit through that losing streak. Obviously, historic data isn't in the slightest. It is in history and will not predict the future. So those win rates are just our targets and our ways of checking that our trading strategy is reliable in the future anyway. So back to our plan. Like I said, dependent on yourself, what kind of max drawdown would you expect? If you understand what a Sharpe ratio is, which I hope you do, what you would expect as a Sharpe ratio, the metrics in general that you're expecting from your trading strategy, your win rate, and all of that kind of thing. So you can set them down in a plan. David, would not trade a trading strategy that has a win rate lower than 45% because I know that I'm going to go away and pause that bot if it has 10 losses in a row. That kind of thing. Now, obviously, in live trading, we never know what's going to happen. That's why we forward test as well. Select the assets to trade. Personally, I tend to stick to the top 20 crypto, although I do try and find some sort of like some AI tokens and things like that. But knowing that it's a lot less data in those markets, generally, I try to stick to trading the assets that have the most amount of data. Determining your exit rules. Me personally, I don't accept any trading strategies that have multiple take profits because of slippage and fees. I absolutely hate multiple take profits personally, but there's lots of people that have had huge success with multiple take profits that I just can't stand. Trading stop losses is something that I do not trade either because of the difference of the way it reacts, as I was saying earlier, in trading view to what happens in real live trading. So I keep away from any of those exit rules. That's just two examples of what you could write in your trading plan. Trading frequency, how many times would you like to trade a week? Once a day, one trade per week. Each strategy obviously is going to be diversified with lots of other strategies. As I said earlier, that's our edge on the market, is being able to trade lots of different markets at the same time with lots of different strategies. That is why we are actually trading algos. So being able to have only one entry per week is not a problem, as long as that's what you're expecting from your trading strategy, and as long as it's what your risk to reward is actually being met and you're happy with, is not a problem. Whether you're scalping or day trading, that has to be written down as well. If you're a scalper, remember, with diversification, you can actually bring a difference to scalping. You can have lots of trading strategies running and not rely just on one trading strategy, which means that you can have lots of entries throughout your week without having to rely on one single trading strategy, which is scalping on a really low time frame. Things like time frames are very, very important. What's your lowest time frame? Personally, I don't trade anything below 15 minutes. It's a recipe for disaster as far as I'm concerned. Anything below 15 minutes, there isn't enough data for any trading strategy to work. 15 minutes is really my very, very lowest. I generally have 1 hour, but I can still consider myself in a way. Excuse me, guys. I'm just going to have a very quick glass of water. Hope that the volume is about the same. Yeah, I can still consider myself a scalper because I have plenty of trading strategies running at the same time, meaning that I can have at least 1 or 2 trades a day because I have multiple trading strategies. Yeah, so that's my trading plan. So that's out of the way and ready. We have a trading plan. Like I said, in the inside Discord, you'll be able to find all of these notes if you're trying to build your trading plan. Not everybody agrees with my plan. That's absolutely fine. There's, like I said, in Discord, there's plans from other people inside of our Discord, which are absolutely brilliant. Now, a year ago, had my trading optimization, my optimization plan was completely different. I come across Igor X in our trading community, who's been absolutely brilliant. Like a lot of the members, Fish, Marco, loads of members, Gentle Said, loads of members inside of our community have written documents about how they optimize trading strategies. And thanks to those documents, my actual optimization plan has changed over the past. So yeah, go over to discord.gg/DavidTech and you'll be able to find other people's plans in as well. But this is how I actually plan. So have your plan ready. Let's start optimizing your plan. Let's have a look. Right, like I said earlier, we're going to be optimizing, finding the best return on it. This is exactly what I just said earlier. Max number of losses, weekends, whether you want to be trading on the weekend. Let me move myself very quickly. Whether you want to be trading over the weekend is an important one. I have a family, have 2 children. I want to spend my weekends with my children and don't particularly want to be trading and worrying about trades too much, even though I am in the crypto world and would like the best return on investment. So it's a hard one. You do have to take it into plan. I know also as a crypto trader, there isn't as much volume over the weekends, and many of the trading strategies that a lot of people are trading on the weekends and not throughout the week actually do not work on the weekends. From proof of back testing, which I do often on YouTube, the weekends are the worst time to trade. As with the strategies that I've got, maybe with other strategies it might work better, but through the strategies that I've got, weekends are not best. Do you want to trade while you're asleep? I leave my trades going through while I'm asleep. Not a problem in the world. I know that my bots are going to be looking after them, so I have no problem whatsoever to trade while I'm asleep. Are you somebody who wants to have a risk to reward, which is positive? So risking 1%, getting a positive of 2%, or take profit of 2%, or negative. Some people are really into the quick ins and the quick outs and happy to have a 4% stop loss and hoping for just taking out that little 0.7% out of the market as much as they possibly can. As long as it's back testing, I'm certainly not criticizing it. There's plenty of trading strategies that work in that way. We were talking to plenty of people that I remember from the past and had the fantastic strategies running where they had negative R&Rs. I call them negative R&Rs. They're positive for them because they're making money. So that's the most important thing. Yeah. So how much is your maximum leverage? What is your maximum amount of drawdown and things like that? So I start personally optimizing manually. I go through some of the things like the stop losses and things like that. I'm optimizing manually. Vlad, who's in the community with us, he'll go through manually and optimize his trading strategies first. I code the strategies inside of David Tech, so I kind of have a feeling for the strategies anyway. But it's always important, very, very important as far as I'm concerned, to understand how a indicator affects your trading strategy. If you change that RSI to 14 from 10 and you see that it explodes in profit, and then when you put it up to 15, it goes right the way down, maybe that is an overfitted indicator because because the difference between one length and another should not make huge difference. Now you'll be able to see that when manually optimizing them. If you're using bots or whatever to optimize, that certainly would not be the way forward. You wouldn't use it. Sorry, you certainly would not see it because it'd be an automatic process. There are ways of plotting on graphs and things like that and charts to be able to see that, but that's currently what I do is I manually go through. I start by optimizing on a smaller amount of data, so I don't use the deep backtester at first. The reason is because that allows me to also use some out of series data, so I can show the actual trading strategy data that hasn't been seen before. Once I've come up with something that has sorry, my brain's gone, guys. I've been talking for an hour and 9 minutes here without any stop, so my brain's starting to go a little bit here. Yeah, so once on the smaller amount of data, once I've come up with an okay kind of strategy, what happens there is then I actually can put it onto deep backtesting and see if it actually performs all the way back to the beginning of data. It also makes the optimization process a little bit faster on TradingView, and it's just something that I've got used to. I start by focusing on a fixed take profit and stop loss, whether that's an ATR or a fixed percentage. Doesn't make a difference. I generally use ATR myself, but the reason is that I don't play with the actual stop loss and take profits until I've found some okay settings inside of the actual entry indicators themselves. Turn off any bells and whistles, like I was talking about earlier. The dynamic position, all of that kind of thing, are extra things to make that your trading strategy absolutely awesome. They're not things that I'm going to put on before actually optimizing. Now, this is kind of things that I've learned from people like Igor and also Marco and people like that in the community. So yeah, it's very much thanks to other people that I've been learning these kind of things, and hopefully I'm sharing with them today. Couple of tips. As I said earlier, I've add multiple take profit, not multiple take profits, definitely not a maximum stop loss and a minimum take profit. Always set to 5%, and then I'd add my minimum take profit depending on what time frame we're on for the minimum take profit, but generally about 1%, from 0.7 to 1%, meaning whether or not your ATR is a bit too close to price action, and that TP will be very small, maybe even if you're using a higher risk reward. It still could be very small, and you could be eaten up by all your fees and things like that. So I always make sure that I have that minimum take profit, as we saw earlier on the screen over here, the minimum take profit and stop loss, which is around here somewhere, guys. Over here, there's the minimum take profit and stop loss around here, as you can see, is always set. I generally set this to 5, and then I set the minimum take profit to 1 or 0.7, depending on the time frame we're on. If I'm looking for a really low time frame, 15-minute, as I said earlier, maybe I'll take that down to 0.7. Then I take away all of the bells and whistles, as I said, removing all these multiple take profits, anything that may have been set by default, maximum trades per day, all of that kind of thing. I remove the dynamic positioning, although I said earlier it is a gem. I totally still stand by that, but I remove it at first just to make sure that it's not activated at first. So make sure it's not giving an influence to the strategy at first. Then we have the dynamic leverage, which I turn off as well, and then I set the portfolio to 10 and 10, dependent on the time frame as well. But that's generally what I'd set that to, is 10 and 10. Okay, right back over here. We're going to keep going. Tip for a beginner, anybody that's just starting on optimization: try to start on a higher time frame. It's slightly less disheartening than a lower time frame. If you're on a very low time frame, backtesting will be deep backtesting will be very time consuming. You'll find it very hard to find good settings. I personally haven't found any great settings on the 5-minute time frame or lower for years. So I certainly would stay on a higher time frame. Like I said, 15 minutes and above. If I was beginning starting out today, I'd stay on something above the 1 hour and above, because it's you're going to just bang your head against a wall, as we say, trying to find those good settings, and you'll never find them. It'll be it may be that you find them, but once you click on the deep back testing, you'll be disheartened again, and you might never ever find those great settings. If you go onto the 1 hour time frame, it's a lot easier. You get a good number of trades on the 1 hour time frame, on the 45-minute time frame, on the 90-minute time frame. You can find a good number of trades, and though that good number of trades would allow you to do some great back tests and find some good strategies. Okay, so deep back tester, as I said earlier, that's it really on that one. So good for that. Right, we're good. Yeah, don't get disappointed, as I said earlier, with the deep back testing. If you go and click the deep back testing, as I did earlier, you might find that when you're on a really low time frame, you'll get fantastic results on current data and could look absolutely fantastic. And then you hit that deep back testing, giving it some data that it hasn't seen before, which is absolutely best practice. But by deep back testing, you probably will often be disappointed on how your trading strategy went through the bear market, or when it was sideways or something like that. Will probably be quite disappointing. So don't get disappointed. Just go through the flow. Right, let's have a look at some optimizations. They have a sense of the optimization. Let's go through. Right, okay, so this is where I was going to show you the optimization, which I did anyway, pretty much anyway. Skipping ahead again, like I do. I went through what I turned off and the bells and whistles here, turn them off, those kind of things. I'd actually go down and concentrate on two things. First of all, I would go over to my risk to reward and set that to depending on the time frame as well, depending on the strategy and how I feel, I generally would set it to a 1.5 to a 1.7 for my first optimizations. The reason being is it gives you more of a chance of finding a profitable trading strategy, having that positive risk reward. And also at a later point, you can take that, if you're at 1.7, you can take it down to 1.5, and that may help you also find a win rate that you're more comfortable with, but still staying profitable. I continued down and remove all of that. As I said earlier, definitely turned on show the liquidation line if you're using leverage, and block any trades that are below that, where the liquidation is either above or below the stop loss, depending on whether you're taking a short or a long. Don't want to get liquidated before we actually hit a stop loss. Number one, extra fees. Number two, TradingView doesn't do a very good job at back testing it. So we certainly want to block any trades where the stop loss is below the actual liquidation line. Yeah, I would remove martingale. I'd remove anything that was set by as default. Remove any of these extra moving averages, any extra indicators, because there are lots of indicators here on David Tick. Personally, like I said earlier, I would remove all of these extra indicators. I would put this onto the full session with all of the week trading. And then I'll go back and manually take them off to see how it would perform by not trading on Saturday and Sunday. And generally, I get much better results when taking them off, but I would actually optimize first. Then go to the main settings here, and this is where I'll be actually optimizing, trying to find the best entry points by removing and adding indicators and playing around with these lengths. Okie dokie. Right, so you've optimized, you have a sense of your strategy, you know how everything works, you know what parts of the indicator, which parts of your strategy makes difference, what's actually performing, what's overperforming, what's underperforming, all of the good stuff that you would expect from your trading strategy. You know how it's affected by the optimization. You know that moving that RSI above 15 will destroy your trading strategy because you've manually played around with the settings. It's time to start using automation, but unfortunately, TradingView doesn't have any optimization capabilities yet automatically. There is no way to automatically optimize your trading strategy. So, game over. But this is where we're going to introduce the optimizer. It's a bot that we may, it's a way of automatically optimizing trading strategies using a tool inside of Chrome. It was created by us in the community about 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. Has 8,000 users, is free of charge, and you can go and use it on Chrome at any time on any trading strategy whatsoever. It doesn't have to be David Tech strategies in the slightest. So as I said, it's a Chrome extension. We're going to go and have a look at the Chrome extension over here. We're going to go over to Google and we're going to search for the optimizer spelled with an S, I know. We're going to go over and click on that. And it's going to bring up this. We're going to add it to our trading view. And we're going to go back over to trading view and we're going to refresh our chart. So it's here, my little logo, David Tech at the top up here. As you can see, a little, you can't see as a matter of fact, because I haven't shared the right screen. Let me try again and present a new screen here, guys. Present, stop sharing. Can I present another screen? Stop sharing. Right, okay, this is me. And let's try sharing the full screen so you can actually see it. Okay, this one over here. Okay, that should be better. Let's move. There we go. Right. Okay. So the David Tech optimizer looks like this. It's at the top of your David Tech, the top of your Chrome. You need to pin it for it to be at the top here. You click on this and then pin it. And one of these little pins next to my logo. This is the optimizer. It's very much a automatic process of optimizing trading strategies. It is very, very simple. It sits in Chrome. And allows you to optimize. So what it does is you can set your parameters here, allowing you to optimize for net profit, for win rate, for Sharpe ratio, for max drawdown. You've got several methods, which I'll go through in a minute. You also have deep backtest involved, in and out of sample backtest, which I won't go through today, although I will go through briefly in a couple of minutes what it is. You can optimize on your your wish list, so your watch list, sorry, at the side here. Loads of absolutely fantastic features. I have a full course on davidtech.com, which is completely free of charge, which goes through every single feature of the optimizer. Today, I'm just going to go through the simple parts of it so you can understand what it does. So what we do is we're going to set, for example, here today we'd like to optimize for net profit so that we're having net profit, the best profit possible. Currently, we're at 511% over here. If I click on this here and then add a filter, we can also choose to have more than 200 trades. We need to set this filter as on, more than 200 closed trades, and then we click on test strategy. It's going to go away. I need to accept the terms and conditions. It's going to go away and get all the parameters from the trading strategy that is on your screen. And then it's going to allow you to go away and optimize that automatically. So in a couple of seconds, it will pop up with all of the fields that it's found, and it will ask you to activate the ones that you want to optimize and the ones that you don't. This is going to be really quite high in the overview. I'm just going to go through the essential parts with what I would optimize. Now, I personally would optimize the length of my risk to reward. So if we go through here, we can find our risk to reward. Our stop loss take profit percentages here if you're using percentages. Otherwise, you could actually use your risk to reward, which is just here. So if I wanted to optimize my risk to reward, we can actually have from to step default. So first thing here is we've got our from. So we're going to be optimizing from 0.825, let's say 0.8, and then 0.8 here. So the first value will be 0.8, and the last value would be 3.3. So we will be optimizing at 0.1. So it will go from 0.8 to 0.9 to 1 to 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and so on until it finds the absolute best settings. Now, depending on the algorithm that you've chosen here, we could either randomly set them one by one. You can random all, annealing, or sequential. I'll go through all of those in a second what they are. Then I would actually leave those ones personally myself until last. I would go down and go to where you'll be able to find the actual main indicators, which are marked by this thing here. I'll go through the main indicators, and then I would actually optimize the length of these main indicators here. You get an estimation of the number of cycles that you'd have to get through. With these 3 indicators, we'd actually have to have about 539 until we've actually gone through all of them. You can set the number of cycles, so the number of times that it's actually looking at those settings, to a couple of 100. I generally don't ever go above 1,000. It would just overfitting it, so we certainly don't want to do that. I generally max out at about 1,000. You press save and run, it'll go away and change each and every one of those settings that you have set up here, and try and find the absolute best settings. It will then download an Excel spreadsheet of all of the settings from the beginning that have met your rules. So all of the settings that are above the number of closed trades, that's the only rule there that I've added. But if I added a max minimum win rate or whatever, it will add that to the actual Excel spreadsheet. And then the best settings, it will actually configure TradingView with the best settings that it considers are the best settings considering your rules. If you use the deep back tester here, it will actually deep back test as well, which actually will increase the amount of time that the optimization takes. It's not fast. It can sit in the background, leave it in the background and go do something else, but it isn't a fast process. So that is the optimizer. I'm going to go through very quickly a couple of things inside of that. Oh, that's a good spelling of optimizer I got over there. Right. Okay. So optimizing using the optimizer to find the best to take profits. Optimize on a single indicator. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to stop my screen here. Which one's my screen? Screen. That one there. Let me remove that. Stop screen sharing. There we go. Okay, it was interfering with the stream. Okay, so I'm going to be optimizing a single indicator. So in that main area is the first thing that I'm going to be optimizing. You can also use it to find the best take profit and stop losses. After I've manually optimized them, I will put them through a full optimization of take profits and stop losses. You can test turning on and off options with it, and also do things like in and out of sample data, like I was talking about earlier. In and out sample data is backtesting or optimizing and backtesting on a certain amount of data. For example, from the very beginning of time up until 2022. And then optimizing it on that data, trying to find the best settings, and then taking that exact settings and then retesting it up until today's date to test whether it continues to work. That's a great way of testing your trading strategy to see whether it's robust and see if it's working. And something that I suggest that you learn and how to do. The optimizer does have some functionality to do that, but I do need to improve on that. But it's something that I suggest you learn how to do using the deep back tester. So liquidation line, as I said earlier, they're the things that I've just gone through anyway. I've repeated myself in my slides here. These are the things that I've set as I said earlier, they're the kind of things that I set up. Repeating myself, I do 1,000 runs. I personally use annealing. Now, if I go back over to TradingView in a second, and I'll explain what annealing actually does. A lot of the best optimizers in our group use annealing. Now, annealing, not many people actually really know how it works. So the idea behind the annealing or algorithm inside the Bybit optimizer, what it does is you've got to imagine that you're running a hot bath. The idea of annealing is to fill that hot bath up with absolutely boiling hot water, the hottest water possible, and just adding cold water and dripping it in until it actually finds the best settings. So best temperature, the settings being the temperature. Just get colder and colder and cooler and cooler and cooler until we actually get the best settings. Then what it'll do is it'll accept or reject those settings. If it's getting cooler, it'll accept and continue going down until it stops getting better, and then it'll go back to where it was. That's how annealing works inside of the optimizer. Let me present over here my screen once again. I'm going to have to do my entire screen to show you guys. Let me pull over to here. There we go. Right, annealing. So if I go over here, you can actually choose from random all. So control just adds one onto the next one. So random actually chooses, what it's doing is these here actually, to be honest. It will randomly choose one of these inputs. These random all will set each and every one of them is what I call a kind of a brute force. It changes all of them all in one go until it finds its best settings. And then we have annealing, which will, like I said, set it to the top temperature and then bring it down until it finds the best settings. I consider that to be the best one personally myself. So control will go through each and every one after the other until it finds the best settings. So that's how the optimizer works. Right, back over to here. I'm not sure what's happened to my font, guys. Hopefully you can still read the presentation. Looks a bit weird, but it'll do. After the optimizer finishes, manually I'll play around with the take profit and stop loss. I will start adding the bells and whistles, as I keep saying, back on those bells and whistles, being the dynamic leverage, dynamic position size, which I still consider to be very, very good. Just I add them afterwards. So they're the kind of things that I'll be adding to make it better. And generally, I come up with something that looks pretty good. Like I said earlier, there's loads of resources written by the members of the David Tech community, which are absolutely amazing. You'll be able to find them in Discord under books and resources. There's tons of great resources in there that you'll be able to find. They're free of charge. Download them, play around with them, read them, find out how to optimize, how other people optimize, how other people have improved other people's optimizations. And they're all in kind of a short PDF format. There's loads of Excel spreadsheets in there. Tools and things like that if you're interested in improving your optimization skills. Also, I have a free course which you can get off of davidtech.com. There is no obligation. You just fill out a voucher. The voucher's on the first page. I think it's 100% free. It's called the voucher. Just go in there, press that button, and you'll be able to get the course absolutely for free to work out how the optimizer works. Well, every part of the optimizer. Okay, there's plenty of people out there, I'm sure, sitting there going, right, okay, this is overfitting, which I totally understand and probably is most cases overfitting. So what is overfitting? Overfitting is is the optimization of trading strategies on historical data where they work absolutely perfectly. As you can see in that curve there, it fits absolutely perfect. Well, the red line over here, it fits absolutely perfectly to trading strategies. I'm waving my hand around here. It takes every single trade absolutely perfectly and fits absolutely perfectly to the curve on backtesting data. But when brought into a real world trading situation, either the rules are too strict and you never ever get a trade, either they are fitted to a certain trend and you haven't got enough data, and when the market changes or trends change or things like that, your trading strategy no longer works. So it's fitted to a set amount of data, and when brought to live markets, it will not work. It will perform poorly. Oh, sorry guys, it will perform poorly in real world trading. That was really bad, just like my reading skills. So to avoid overfitting, there's a couple of things that you can do. Don't over optimize. Don't go through every single last 0.001 on the take profits and stop losses. Don't over optimize all of the trading settings inside of the entries. Like I said earlier, if an RSI it works extremely well on 17 and doesn't work very well on 16 and 15, that's probably just overfitted. It probably won't work in the future. You need to make sure that it works on equivalent values or close values, close neighbor values as such, to make sure it works well as well, to stop it from actually just being overfitted. Don't optimize every single parameter. manually optimize, as I said earlier, gives you a bit better of a feeling than doing it 100% automatically. Although I do think that automatically is a great time saver. If you don't know how the strategy performs or feels when it's actually being optimized, you'll probably miss out on something, and that probably will be the overfitted part. Test on other pairs and exchanges, as I said earlier. When you move it over from Bybit to OKX, you'll probably find that it doesn't work as well, or it may work better. You don't know. If it doesn't work at all, that probably will mean that it isn't. It might be overfitted. It might not be, but it could be overfitted if it doesn't work at all, especially as if it's on the same coin pair. Generally, they'll work to work on multiple exchanges differently, not maybe as well, but they won't fall apart completely. Does a slight change completely destroy your trading strategy? That would probably be a sign of it being overfitted. And also, like I said earlier, optimize on a small amount of data and then optimize on a large amount of data, then put it onto a fallback testing all the way up to today's date. And then that will allow your trading strategy to be see data that it hasn't seen before. Have a look at that data, see whether it works well, and also that will help you to not overfit. Obviously, there's things like trade journaling, which I'll talk about later, and forward testing and things like that, which will help you to predict the outcome of your trading strategy as well a little bit better. Outsample data I just explained. There's also walk forward optimization, where you're optimizing on small parts of data. Out of sample optimization, I think, definitely something that I need to work on the optimizer to make it better. Like I said, it's taking a small amount of data, as you can see from here, from 2002 up to 2008 out of sample, and in sample is from that date onwards. So you can take it and optimize on the in-sample data and then test it on the out-of-sample data or the full amount of data. That will allow you to see whether that trading strategy will work on the out-of-sample data. It means, like I said, that trading strategy's never seen that data, and it could be useful information for you to see if it's overfitted. Okay, some more fun parts of the David Tech community. We have lots of other people's settings. Using other people's settings from the Elite Backtesters group is something which I think's great. We've built a subpart of the David Tech community, which we're all working together to find the absolute best settings. It's power of collaboration. We're coming up with absolutely amazing settings like these ones here, as you can see on the screen. These settings were built by the Elite Backtesters. We're forward testing them. We're trading them. Well, not trading them, but we're trade journaling them and trading them live. Some of them, not all of them. Obviously, the ones that we consider as good ones, we're trading them live. These here are the fruit of our community, building them together. So you can become part of a community where we're all finding settings together and building a bit and sharing them between each other to find those absolute best settings and share and also forward testing them together to try and find optimal settings. Sorry, I just repeated myself there, guys. Right. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where you can find these settings. You can find them on davidtech.com. You can also find them in the Google Sheets via our community. Also on Discord, I'm going to show you all of these. By uploading your own settings, you'll get access to everybody else's settings. I'm going to show you how to upload them using the optimizer. But first of all, I'm going to show you how to copy them from the David Tech website itself. So let's have a look at all of this very quickly. I'm going to go back over to David Tech website over here. I'm going to close the optimizer just like this here. Let's go. Right. Okay. So on the David Tech website, if we go over to copy bots, you can actually see all of the trading strategies actually live trading. Now, not all of these trading strategies are great. As you can see, some of them are in drawdown. As you go further down the list, even more of them will be in drawdown. But the idea behind this is we are a community. We're working together to try and find the best settings. Whether they work or not, your settings will be accepted by our community manager, Vlad. He will put them onto the website and they will be put into a trading journal so that we can see how they perform on real live markets. We record every single trade in a trading journal. Let's pull up one here. Anyone will do. Here one that has all of these been. This one's been sent to us 41 days ago, and it has been live traded since 41 days. And as you can see, we have the equity curve as it is on back testing on the green area, and then we have the pink area, which is live trading. So everything's been recorded. It's very, very simple, and you can find the settings for this trading strategy simply by going to the website and clicking on download the CSV file. That will download the CSV file from our website. There'll be a little video there that you can see how to upload it. I'm going to go through how to upload them very, very quickly anyway. So this is the first place that you can find these settings from David Tech. Now, also, you can just click on copy to TradingView charts. Make sure you've gone to the TradingView settings over the top here. The TradingView strategies up the top here and added that to your chart. Then you just go over to copy to chart, and that will actually copy that chart over to TradingView for you. You won't have to do any settings or anything like that. But if you want to record the CSV file, or you find some settings on Discord, because there's hundreds of settings on our Discord, but there's thousands of settings on our Discord. You can download the CSV files off of Discord and then add it to your TradingView. Then you go over to your TradingView over here. And thanks to the optimizer that you installed earlier, you actually click on this cog button over here, and then you'll find an up and down arrow at the bottom, which wasn't there before on TradingView. By clicking that up button, you can upload a trading settings from your actual settings. And as you can see, it's going through and looking through that CSV file and changing all of the settings to those new parameters here on TradingView. So now it will refresh. As you can see, it's refreshing here, those settings, and it will change those backtesting results for us. I don't know what this is going to be because we're probably on a totally different time frame. And yeah, absolutely. Right. If I go over to STXUSDT, and what time frame was that on? .p, and we're here, and we were on what time frame? 15-minute. Now that would have uploaded all of the settings directly to our backtester here. Let's try and find the price action on STX. And as you can see, we're now on STX with some great settings recently. Look at those wonderful settings, 1020%. And that was those settings from the website. So the optimizer allows you to share settings with your friends and your family. Also allows you to share settings with the David Tech community. And by sharing your settings with the David Tech community, you can actually get access to other people's settings as well throughout the website. You also get to see the live trading, how it's going, asking an AI whether we should trade it or not, and all of that great stuff, which is on the website. You get all of the stats that you would expect from forward test and from the back test. Everything is there on the site, and you also get the screenshot from TradingView as we added it. This is screenshots from previous data and also up-to-date data. So there you go. Right. Okay. So those kind of things you can do thanks to the optimizer. I'm going to come back over here to here. We've been going 1 hour and 41 minutes, guys. Brilliant. Right. Let's continue. There's quite a few people on Twitter or X. So hello to everybody. Hope everybody's going well. So you've optimized your strategy. What's next? Are we in the money? Are we going to start trading? Unfortunately, no. Our next part is incubation, which is this part of the process. We've added the strategy or found a strategy idea. We've optimized our trading strategy. We've tested it and back tested it. We've put it on inside, in and out of sample data. We've tested it as much as we possibly can. And we can now go into incubate. Now, what is incubation? What is the process of incubating a trading strategy? In other words, it's forward testing, trading on real-time data, on out of sample data, recording it in a trading journal, so we can see how it would react on markets. Now, it's going to take time because obviously this is real data. We're not just that back testing, we're actually putting it onto a trading journal to see how it actually works inside, to try and outsmart those historical pitfalls. We all know that history is in the past, and when bringing it to live data, this often happens. This is exactly why we forward test many of the trading strategies, even the ones on davidtech.com. You'll see, and it was the idea behind davidtech.com in the first place. You'll see that trading strategies will be back tested and they look absolutely amazing until they get up to that forward testing period, where you put it onto forward testing and all of a sudden you end up with 27% max drawdown and everything falls apart the day that you put it into real life trading. That was the idea behind davidtech.com, is try and see whether this actually really happens in real live data, on real life data. So we're forward testing, and that is the next part of our journey. We're going to be testing our trading strategies without risking real money. We're going to be putting it into a trading journal. There is plenty of ways of actually doing this. I do apologize about the font. I'm not sure. It does look pretty awful on my screen. I'm not sure if it looks bad on your guys' screens as well, but fortunately, it looks like there's too many slides, so I'm not sure. Anyway, so ways to incubate, the pros and the cons, leaving it on a chart and coming back. Leaving it on a chart and coming back is a great way of doing things, especially with TradingView. You can do it quite easily. You can open a chart. The problem being is losing that chart and then losing all of that data. It's happened to me quite often. Best idea is to open an Excel spreadsheet or a sheet from Google, and then at that point, you can write down the chart URLs, those chart URL or links. You can stop them all in one place as bookmarks or something like that. Then come back to them and actually find those charts and see how it works, see how they've performed. Make sure you always add the fees and things like that. Otherwise, you will fall into those pitfalls of going to live trading. And when you get to that live trading, you'll find that they won't work as well. So that's one way, using a paper trading or a net, test nets. Problem with test nets are they do actually trade completely different to live markets. It's as if you're on a completely different exchange. So they may work completely different as if you are actually on a real live. Liquidity in the market is completely different to a test net. So don't test it if it's part of your testing, the way of testing, continue that way. But I suggest that you also add other layers to that testing mechanism, because, like I said, the testnet will perform completely differently. Manually writing down all trades is a way of doing things, but it's tedious, and you do have to make sure that you actually written them all down. Or you have davidtech.com, like I said earlier. Davidtech.com is this screen here, where we take the trading strategy settings. You send us the link, we put it onto here. By sharing your settings, you get access to everybody else's settings as well, and then you get your strategy. As soon as it takes any new trades, they're all automatically added here into this table of new trades, stop losses and take profits, etc. We have all of the statistics that you would expect from a backtesting and trading platform, including sharp ratios, whatever, max number of days in drawdown, expected daily, expected monthly, yearly. Kelly, you've got all of the stuff that you would expect from a good trading platform. So it's a great way of doing things. And like I said, by sharing your trading strategy with us, you get access to everybody else's settings, which means that if your trading strategy does fail, it's unfortunate, but you're not losing because you get access to other people's. And if it does win, it means that everybody else can profit from that as well. So I think it's the best way of doing things. It's a great way of optimizing strategies. This here will also be open to everybody to add their own strategies as well in the very near future. I'm working on a way of doing that as well. So I think that this kind of trading journal is definitely a way forward. That's ways of journaling your trades and making sure that that trading strategy continues in the same light. I keep going a bit too far. Now, segueing back to the elite backtesters, as I said earlier, if you submit your settings, you get access not only to the trading journal, but you also get access to everybody else's settings. There's over 700 settings and strategies on the David Tech website that are currently being live traded. This month we had over just under 100 new setups being sent to us. We've been going 52 weeks in total this week. We do it live on YouTube every Tuesday, and you also get access to a prize pool that we've given back to the users because there are elite backtesters, and we kind of have a sort of a donation sort of way of doing things, and we've given back a pool prize of up to $32,000. So just a little bit of incentive to come and share your settings with everybody, and everybody to share their settings with you. So you have a good strategy. Are we in the money yet? We're here at the decision point. Are we going to be trading that strategy or not? Choosing that winning strategy. So I put together a $1 million plan, which you can download the PDF as of sort of my next video, which is today in a couple of hours' time on YouTube. You can find there a free PDF plan, which is my plan to do live trading on YouTube. I'm going to be doing it every week, 3 times a week, live trading these trading strategies, and you can find my plan and how I'm going to be diversifying my portfolio, etc. I've been doing it for about a year. Well, I've been doing it for 3 years on YouTube. Some years have been more successful than others. Recently have been much better than others. But I got my account from Bybit due to regulation. I had to remove. So this plan I've been putting together to move over and to migrate to this new account so I can do it live on YouTube. Sorry about the font again. Unfortunately, it seems when I've imported my PDF file here, unfortunately, it's changed some of the fonts. So the requirements from my incubation when I'm taking out of the winning strategy, I'm looking for my winners here. These are the requirements are that I have at least 3 months of of incubation. So we backtest as far as we possibly can, then we leave it in the trading journal for at least 3 months. This is the great thing also about the elite backtesters is that you could be 3 months in advance because you could be using other people's strategies whilst you're waiting for your one to complete your incubation process as well. As such, a minimum of 30 trades in that incubation period, depending on the time frame, that is often possible in that 3 months. 30 trades can be way too much for some much higher time frames, but that's a rule that I've put in place inside my own incubation plan. It doesn't mean to say that it has to be your one, but that's what I have as a plan. Max drawdown is never surpassed. I also have a max drawdown in periods of time as well that I have as something that I look for, make sure it hasn't gone into 30% max drawdown or 15% in a single day or something like that. That's something that I would look for in my plan as well. Trade accuracy, make sure that win rate in the incubation period, the win rate is staying roughly the same is important to me. My profit factor also, things like number of trades frequency, making sure that if I'm looking for a trade per day on a trading strategy and all of a sudden when I put it into live trading on this incubation process, it only takes 1 trade per week, that would be a red flag for me, and I certainly would not trade that. I'd leave it to incubate for much longer to see whether it starts coming back or whether I have to pause or stop it or just leave it in the incubation period. Doesn't make any difference. Once it's in an incubation period, it doesn't make a difference. You can stay there as long as it's not using real equity as such. Now you have your winners. This is where we get into the fun of putting it onto live markets, which is a great process, and it's going to be fun for everybody because once we get trading, we get over to TradingView, and unfortunately there is no real way of correctly, as far as I'm concerned, directly to set. There are some connections to exchanges, so don't get disheartened by this, but for the exchanges that I use and things like dynamic positioning and all of that kind of thing, we can't use TradingView signals to do. That's where we need a middleman service. The middleman service sits between TradingView and your exchange and just takes those alerts, which I'll discuss in a couple of seconds, and turns them into trades on your exchange. Luckily, we have already built that inside of our community under copybots and signal bots, and I'm going to go through that very quickly as our next part of the presentation. But first, before we go through that, we need to choose an exchange and connect it to the David Tech website or the middleman services. Now, the other middleman services are people like Alertron. You have, who else do you have? 3 Commas, Alertron. You have plenty of other middleman services. You don't have to use David Tech in the slightest. It's just if you are part of the David Tech community, you get access to them already. And we've been working hard to make them as fast as possible and as accurate as possible, and to work as well with the actual TradingView signals. So the exchanges that are available on David Tech are Bybit, OKX, 2Bit, BingX, Binance soon, BitKit soon, and Blowfin as well. You can add any of these exchanges. Some of them are in beta testing. If you'd like access, you will have to send Vlad or myself a message inside of Discord. But these are the exchanges that you can actually connect directly through David Tech. I use personally Bybit. Reason that I use Bybit is exactly as I was saying earlier. It's your choice to use the exchange that you feel confident in and also is available in your country. I use Bybit because the data is available on TradingView for Bybit. Has a good amount of data. You can go back as far as, dependent on the coin, sometimes 2022. You can go back quite far. Gives us enough candles to be able to actually test on. So I'm quite happy with the amount of data that I can get from Bybit pairs. Liquidity is good on Bybit, so it's liquid as reserve. They have reserves, so I can trust You always have to be careful, but I know that they have transparent reserves, so I can see the reserves on Bybit. We also have easy ways of withdrawing your funds. I know that it's pretty fast. I've tested it, so it's things that make me feel comfortable while trading. Through testing and building the APIs myself, connecting over to their API servers, so building those connections between TradingView or anything in Python or Go or whatever the script may be that sits between the two. I know that their API servers in general are quite stable. I get fast entries, which is extremely important when we're looking for a good trading strategy. The fees are relatively cheap in comparison to other ones, but the choice is 100% up to you. I'm not selling Bybit in the slightest. It's just I'm giving you the reasons what I feel comfortable with certain exchange. Personally, if it isn't on if the exchange isn't on TradingView or doesn't have any data whatsoever on TradingView, something that I can't trade. I don't feel comfortable trading personally myself. Although there are some absolutely fantastic exchanges out there. If it's not on Bybit, I can't backtest it, which means to me, I wouldn't trade it. But then again, you could be coding it in some other language yourself, and you might be able to download the data yourself without any problems. So you've chosen your exchange. Let's connect an API. Let's go over to the website and have a look at how we can easily connect an API over to David Tech. This is our first step. It's going over to the exchanges over here. We're going to click on exchanges. We've already logged in to David Tech and we're going to add our exchanges to David Tech. It's very, very simple. You go over, you click my exchange at the side here, and we're going to add Bybit. Now I'm actually going to be adding Blowfin as a beta because I have Blowfin already open up the top here, as you can see, and I know that there's hardly any USDT on there. So if anybody does see my API keys whilst I'm doing this stream, doesn't make no difference because there's less than $100 in there. So whilst it's in beta, you do have to use this link just here for Blowfin. If you're on Twitter, you'll be able to find it pinned. Otherwise, I've just put it into the comments here. There. Whilst it's in beta, if it's not in beta, you can use any link. But currently in beta, you have to use the link and set up a Bybit account. It helps us to develop and build the actual platform. We're going to give the wallet a name itself. I'm going to call it Test Live. And then we're going to go over to the Blowfin website, just like it is here. As you can see, I'm already in the API management. To do that, we go over to our emoji or avatar in the corner over here. Mine is myself over here, and we go down over to the API area just here. We then go over to this orange button and we are asked to create a new API key. There is no coding, you just have to click that. Now, it's very simple. We give it a name. I would suggest that you give it the same name as you've given it on the David Tech website. So if we go test live, we're going to call it test live. Test live over here. Next thing we're going to give it is a passphrase. The passphrase allows you to edit and play around with any settings that you've done. But we do have to also give it trade setups up here. I forgot about this bit. So you have to go to permissions, give it read and trade. You don't want to be able to withdraw in the slightest or transfer. Those two are not needed in the slightest. Give it a passphrase. I'm not going to do this because I'm not actually going to set up a new API code today. And then on most exchanges, you'll find that David Tech in the dropdown. If not, if you can't find it, go up to the top and it says generally API transaction, where you're actually allowed to whitelist a set of IP addresses. Whitelisting means that you're restricting any calls to this API or any trades from an API to a set of IP addresses. IP addresses being the servers where your actual entries come from. If we go over to exchanges over the top here, you'll be able to find the whitelist APIs that we're going to, the whitelist IPs that we're going to be doing. We're going to click that, and that's going to copy it to our clipboard. We're going to go back and we're going to paste them just like this here. That did not work in the slightest. Don't know why. Maybe I have no resources left. Let me go here, copy it manually. It's because I'm not sure actually. They're not allowing me to paste. I'm not sure why. Okay, guys. Well, I'm not going to manually write these out. Something wrong with the computer. Am I able to even type? Yes. Okay. So they don't like us pasting. Let me paste this up here, and it's probably because of the comma. There we go. So it's one per line here. Is it one per line or comma? Optional. Seems like they don't allow us to do an entry. Let's try with spaces. Spaces instead. There we go. They're accepting spaces. Okay, so we're going to be using spaces just like that. It says doesn't say whether or not we should use spaces or not. Normally, I personally use the David Tech here. I'm just giving you an example. On Bybit, for example, it's actually separated by commas. They don't accept commas on this. So I'm not actually sure why, but on Bybit it would be accepted with commas. You'd copy and paste it directly to Bybit, or you click the David Tech one there, which is giving us the authorizations anyway. Set your passphrase and then you press next. It will ask for you to use the auth of your telephone. So using Google Auth or whatever application you're using for a 2FA authentication. Very, very simple. It will then pop up with a API key and secret. You go back over here and you enter your API key and secret just here and press add exchange. It will then add it to the David Tech website, which allows you to use the copy bots and the signal bots with the same exchange. So very, very simple. Let's go back over here. Your exchange is connected. We're then going to go and have a look at the copy and signal bots. This is where it gets a bit more fun, hopefully. Right, so we're going to first of all look at copy bots. The copy bots are the simplest way of adding things and the cheapest way, because you don't actually have to have trading view in the slightest. If you fully confident in a trading strategy you see on the David Tech's website that's been back tested and forward tested, you don't want to set up on trading view. I certainly don't think that's the way forward. I certainly wouldn't do it myself. I personally would import it directly to TradingView and then use the signal bot afterwards, which I'll show you. But there is a way of doing it. There's a lot of pros and cons. Fast and easy to set up it is. There is no need for TradingView. You can diversify and it will log all trades. There are slower entries. If you don't have TradingView, you don't get to play around with things like those bells and whistles and things like that I was talking about earlier. You can't use multiple take profit strategies, and there is a lot less detail on the logs, obviously, because of the number of trades. It's different. So I certainly would use the signal bots and not copy bots. Let's have a look at copy bots very quickly and how you go forward to doing copy bots. Let me go over to the website again. Okay, so we're going to go over to copy bots over here, and you're going to have access to these 700 setups from David Tech that are currently being optimized. We go through and choose any one of them. no matter which one it is. It doesn't matter what they are today. And you feel comfortable with the backtesting results. I wouldn't have traded this one in the slightest. It's not saying to go and trade it in the slightest. You feel happy about the Sharp ratio being only 0.3. And yeah, in general, certainly would not be one that I would look at myself. But then you can go over to CopyBot here and click it. And that will help you to, well, that will build a copy bot system ready for you to copy those trades over. As you can see, you're going to be copying the McGinley Gala on 45 minutes. You can choose your exchange, the one that we just added, the Blowfin exchange. We're going to give it a name, and then you can set up the trading strategy as you wish. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do to speed up the trades themselves. If you are using isolated margin on your account and want to keep it as isolated margin, click this button, and after the first trade, it will actually ignore this button here, which will make that trade just a little bit faster, because obviously it's not setting your trading pair to isolated margin or cross margin each time. You can use dynamic or static leverage. Dynamic leverage will take the leverage from the trading strategy. So if the trading strategy is using dynamic leverage, you can actually take that dynamic leverage and transpose it over to your trading strategy. So for example, if it's highly volatile, or your the dynamic leverage, how it works is if your stop loss is very, very far away, it will give you a very low number of leverage, and if it's very close, it'll actually give you use much more leverage. I suggest that you add that trading strategy to your trading view, check it, make sure it feels good, it feels right to you before actually even looking at it. It's all inside of the report on davidtech.com to see how it works. But otherwise, you can just use a static leverage. If you're already on 5x leverage, just use 5x leverage there. It will try to change it once. Once it's done, it will ignore it anyway. Position, as it says if a dynamic leverage is for advanced users only. I'd only do it if you have trading view personally yourself and feel comfortable with it as well. Not financial advice in the slightest. Okay, so position is either USDT or percent of portfolio. The only way to trade that multiple strategies, on the same pairs is to have multiple sub accounts. Just thought I'd add that as a side note. So USDT is the closest possible that it can get. Generally, on a coin pair where they're rounded up onto, because it's rounded up to contracts. If you're looking to trade, let's say $200, you'll probably find that your trade will be actually $198 or something like that. So you can set the position amount to USDT, and this is the amount of each of your trades. It's not the amount they're risking, because obviously there's a stop loss and things like that. So that stop loss, that's why I was talking about earlier, is you can look directly here to work out the average amount of losing trade here was 4%. So then you can set up a calculation for the average losing trade. Maybe I'll do a video about that afterwards. There's also risk-based trades where you can risk a certain amount instead. On CopyBot, that isn't available. On SignalBot, it will be available. So as I said, this is the simplest way of setting bots up, but not the best. Best is, I consider, is the signal bots over here. Okay, so we can add a stop loss and take profit. The stop loss and take profit will be either set by trading view. If you feel as though you should have a stop loss and take profit also in the exchange as well, just in case of those sort of black swan events or whatever, you can add it so that it will be added directly into the exchange as a conditionally order as well. It's in percent, so it's percent from that entry. So let's say, for example, you want to set a stop loss at 4% from that entry. Then read the terms and conditions and you press save, and that will add it to this table over here. Now there'll be an update in the next couple of days for these bots over here, and you'll also be able to see your strategies, how they're performing, and things like that, just by going here and having a look at the trade log. You get access. It connects to the server. It's going to go get all of the list of trades. It gets all your list of trades and then also plots them on a chart here. You can see your trades, how much you've actually traded, and all of that great stuff on a in a sort of table here, and you can see it's plotted on the chart as well. So all that kind of thing you'll be able to do directly from the copy bots, but the actual signal bots are much more effective at that. Right, back over here. Okay, we're getting closer to the end, guys. Okay, so signal bots. Signal bots are the kind of the better version of copy bots, but they're a little bit more advanced, and they will copy absolutely everything that happens inside of TradingView. They'll do everything that you would hope for from TradingView, including dynamic leverage, dynamic position size. They'll take the signal from TradingView and adapt your exchange to exactly what's happening on TradingView. Like I said, they're a little bit more advanced to set up. I will go through in a second how to set up from A to Z the signal bots, but they are a little bit more advanced. Pros are much faster entries. We're at less than a second for entries on the signal bots, as the copy bots would generally be around 2 to 3 seconds for an entry. Obviously, that depends on things like slippage and things like that, but that's generally what we're looking at. Just going to have a sip of water here. They're much better for diversifying your portfolio because you can follow things. Multiple take profit is available for them, and it's kind of taking your own future into your own hands. It makes things just that much easier. Your signals coming from your TradingView account. You can see the debug reports. You can see absolutely everything on your TradingView. You can see when things are going right, why they're going wrong. Just makes things that little bit easier and better for everybody. There's a bit of a learning curve. You will need access to TradingView with alerts. So you will need a paid for version of TradingView for the signal bots. Okay, let's have a look at how they work. They work through the alerts of the webhook from TradingView, which is, as you can see in the screenshot just here, shows you how to do it. I'm going to go through how to set them, but you don't ever have to leave your computer on, because this is something that a lot of people ask. Do I have to leave the TradingView chart open on my computer? No, not in the slightest. You can close it. It will still ping off the alert, no problem whatsoever. Let's have a look at signal bots and how they work. Okay, back over to the signal bots. I've clicked on signal bots on the side here. We have here several different signal bots that we can set up. I'm going to look at David Tech signals. The only difference between David Tech signals and TradingView signals is David Tech, David Tech strategies will allow for users to set up a strategy, and all of the stop losses and everything are actually taken from the David Tech strategy. As I showed you earlier, everything's coded directly into the strategy. Whether it's your multiple take profits or anything like that, everything's drawn onto your chart just like they should be. Let's have a look here. See, this one's multiple take profits. You can see everything's drawn onto the chart, and they are sent directly from your chart, from this chart, as you'd see it here, and it's sent directly to your exchange. If you have a stop loss and a take profit, those stop loss and take profits will be sent to the exchange if you require that, and they'll be set as conditional orders inside of your stop loss, as inside of your exchange. Sorry. Nick, if you're looking for somebody else's strategy, you can also ping that off with no problem whatsoever. You can do that by clicking on TradingView strategies here. And then inside that, you will actually have a slight difference to David Tech strategies. You have to select your coin pair, because the David Tech strategies actually allow for us to take the coin pair directly from TradingView. You'll be able to set your leverage and things like that. As the David Tech strategies, like I said, they actually send all of this information without having to add it all. But it's pretty simple. It allows you to choose your leverage by dragging this bar here. You can use any strategy off a TradingView and set that strategy, leverage, etc. If you have a custom signal, for example, you're following a Telegram group and you know how to use make.com, that could ping off a strategy setting, ping off a setup as well for you, and directly take a trade. That is where this comes in handy. Same as the other one here, you can play around with the settings here and set that up very quickly. as I said, I'm just going to go through the David Tick strategies is what we're looking at today. So David Tick strategies, we click on David Tick strategies, we open up open up this video and we watch the full video, but I'm going to go through exactly what we're doing. First of all, we're going to go over to Trading View. We're going to click the three dots over here and we're going to set up an alert. I'm going to go back very, very quickly on what I just said. There are some setup things that you need to do before. We have a trading strategy that's ready to roll. We're happy with the back testing results and forward testing results. We've forward tested on davidtick.com. But there are a couple of things that we do actually need to do before we actually take it and set up that alert like it said just here. We actually need to go down to the bottom of David Tick strategies and go all the way back over to something that I showed you at the beginning of this stream, which says live trading. This area here. So the live trading, what that does is it removes all back testing results and puts us into a simulated live trading inside of TradingView. Now the reason is when you're when you're back testing, it's changing your portfolio amount in every single trade. If you win 5%, it adds 5% to your portfolio. If you lose 5%, it removes 5% from your portfolio. If you start trading with the back testing results and you've made 19,000% on your portfolio in back testing, your portfolio will be 19,000% more than what you actually really have on Bybit because you've never actually traded it. So first thing you need to do is go all the way down to here and set live trading. Now you need to put that to today's date, which is way past that date where we're at the moment. We're going to go to 2024 and we're going to go to September. We'll go to 9th, and then I'm going to add the time. I'm going to add the time much in advance. No idea what time zone I'm currently on. And as you'll see it will remove all back testing results in a couple of seconds. As you can see, let's go over here. If I click here, there you go. You have a white line on TradingView, which simulates where we're actually trading from. I'm going to move that white line to the time, the very first candle. I'd actually put it 5 or 10 minutes in advance if I was actually really setting this up in real life. But to do that, you have to go all the way down to the live trading again, just here. And I'd add like 5, maybe 15 minutes. Let's put 15 minutes in advance. That gives us 50. Let's put 30 minutes. It gives us 30 minutes in advance. Okay, so we have live trading turned on. It's giving us 15 minutes to set up that actual trading strategy. We're on today's date. We have simple bot checked here, meaning that we're using simple bot. As you know, we're using the signal bot over here. So using simple bot. We're going to set a safety stop loss and a safety take profit and stop loss. They are actually the stop losses and take profits as conditional orders that I was talking about earlier. Otherwise, we're relying on TradingView signals. Now, if you're using things like trailing stop losses and things like that, you do have to be careful because a conditional will or might affect that trailing stop loss. Personally, that's one of the reasons I keep away from those kind of things. Is that I can actually put these in as conditional orders in the exchange and not rely just on TradingView signals. Here we can, if we're not using the David Tick bot, we can add our channel ID, but otherwise we can actually ignore that. I'll show you how to set up Telegram in a couple of seconds. So I'm going to add those here. We're going to press OK. We're ready to go now to set up on our alerts. We click the 3 dots at the top here and we click Add Alert to Stiff Surge on David Tick. Next thing we need to do is we have an alert set up here. We're just going to go over to here and we're going to copy this link here, which is fastcloud.davidtick.com/webhooks. We're going to go over to notifications here and we're going to fill out the webhook here. Now, you may have it that it's not checked. If it's not available, it means that you don't have the right account on TradingView. You click there and you fill out the address with the address that you just found. You can send yourself an email, have an alert on the thing, play a sound, whatever you like. It's up to you guys. Go back to this one here. We're actually then going to go down and make sure that we have the stiff surge or whatever the name of the trading strategy as the condition. We're then going to order. We're going to change this to fill orders only. We don't want the alerts that will double order on the system. We don't want double orders. We want single orders. So we want order fills only, which means that when it's filled and that white text comes up on TradingView means that we actually get that entry. on the open of the candle. Expiration date depends on yourself. You can make it expire. I use open-ended alerts myself, only part of the premium package of TradingView. Give it a name, and then we go back to the TradingView website. So the David Tech website, sorry. I've set up the webhook alert. I've filled the conditions. I'm ready. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to give it the same name as I've found, as I've given it here, both called test. We're going to choose our exchange. Our exchange is the one that we used, added a second ago. It's going to be Bluefin. The condition is a David Tech simple bot strategy. So press next, and then it's going to give us a load of code, which we're just going to copy. We click here, that will copy it to our clipboard. Then we go over to the David Tech strategy, over to the trading view, and we paste it there. Now it will come up with an alert saying that the JSON is malformed, but it isn't. It's what it is here, around here, somewhere around here. Here, there. It has the alert message. Now that alert message is information from the David Tech strategy, like the dynamic leverage, etc., that is going to go away and fill out that information before sending it directly to the website. So don't worry about that error there. Click create. That is then going to add an alert in the top corner up here. And as soon as that comes up, we are ready to go and automatically trade. There you go. We're ready. It's activated, as you can see. I'm going to close that down. Next time the next candle comes in, if there's an active trade, it will automatically trade on Bluefin for us. I'm going to now pause that one because I don't really want it to start using the equity on that account. Once you've done that, you then press create. That will add a row to your number of trading strategies here. That row will then start recording trades, as you can see here. Gives you a win rate, top number of trades, etc. I will be adding to these stats here. We record all of these stats as trades come in. I'm adding things like slippage and things like that, so you can get average slippage and things like that. You can see how your bot is running, if it's ready and running, or if there's an error recently from the error log. Currently, it's waiting for a signal, so there's nothing really to look at. If I go here, you can see, as earlier, you'll be able to see the active trades that have come in, etc. Okay, all plotted on a chart. You can see how it works. Looks great. Had a couple of trades, and you'll be able to see how it's going. As I go along, I'll add things like equity curves and things like that for everybody so that you can see how it's going. We'll have a proper dashboard and things like that. And that's how you can connect simple bots over to TradingView and see a signal bot, over to TradingView and see your trades, record them, and also take live trades without having to go backwards and forwards. It's extremely fast, simple, and secure. Done everything that we possibly can to make everything as fast and simple as possible. Yeah. There we go. Right, you're live, ready to go. Your trading strategy is up and running. What now? Well, you sit back and watch the results come in. This doesn't mean that the trading strategy is forever going to perform and bring in income. Trading strategies will fall apart with time. It's an unfortunate fact of trading live strategies. But it is the way it is. Just sit back and watch your trades come in. Try not to turn that bots off. But you will have to log and evaluate your results. Now, to do that, you will need a plan. You need to know when you're going to start turning off bots and things like that, which we're going to look at now. So once you're logging results, there's several ways that you can log the results. Obviously, there's the website if you're using the David Tech. Obviously, if you're using the David Tech channel or the David Tech website, you can see from the log like I said just a second ago. Sorry, guys, just bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just going to have a very quick glass of water here. I've kind of been going for almost 2.5 hours. We're doing well, but I need some water. Okay, I think I'm good to go. I think we're good. Right, so we have several ways of logging the actual trades on the David Tech website. As you saw, you've got all of your trades logged. You can have a personal. Keep going, David. Thanks very much, Vlad. We have a personal journal. You could write it down manually or into an Excel spreadsheet or whatever your manual way of doing things. Keeping an eye on the actual trading strategies themselves, I suggest that you also have some kind of a Google sheet where you write down all of the strategies and link to them if you're manually trading through the Signal bot. Make sure you write down each and every one of those links of TradingView so that you don't lose them. Otherwise, it could cause some headache later. When clicking on the alerts, they will not open that trading chart, and you may be forever lost if you don't write down those trading charts. It's a mistake that I've made plenty of times and have regretted it immensely. The other way is through Telegram. If you're building through David Tech, you can actually connect everything to Telegram. We're building a Telegram bot. Currently, it's very, very simple. You just get a list of all of the trades like this. And in the near future, you'll be able to see very much like the table that you just saw a moment ago. You'll be able to see the history of entries. You'll be able to see the history of exits. You'll be able to see which bots are actually activating trades, which are not. You'll be able to see all of those kind of things inside of a Telegram bot, which I think is great because when you're on the move, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see the debug log, and all of that wonderful stuff is something that we're working on quite a lot in the background at the moment. So how to connect our current Telegram bot? Simply go over to davidtech.com and let's have a look at this one. Right. Okay, it's very, very simple. You go over here, you click connect to Telegram. That will pop up with a QR code. That QR code, you take your Telegram or take your mobile phone. I won't be able to do it on live because I don't have, I haven't got the possibility to share my actual smart device or anything like that. But you click on this button, you scan that QR code, that will then take you to Telegram, and the connection is automatically done between our servers and your Telegram, thanks to the QR code that you've scanned, and you're done. As soon as new trades come in from any of your bots, you will get the bot name, you get the actual trading strategy, you'll get all of that inside of your alert. You'll get a little alert saying that you're actually connected to TradingView, and any entries that you get will actually be documented and listed and logged to your Telegram, which is great. Great way of doing things, but they're going to get better. Like I said earlier, you'll be able to see history and things like that inside. You also get alerts directly as new strategies are added to David Tech that may be interesting or particularly working well, and those kind of things will be directly sent to your Telegram alerts. So I think it's definitely a way forward of writing things down. Like I said, there's also a great way of doing things is to write them inside of a Google Sheet. Next thing we're building is a David Tech dashboard. As you saw earlier on the actual website, over here we have a simple dashboard, which is a log. We're actually working also on a full dashboard, which will allow you to see how your trading strategies are performing with a nice graph, very much like the ones on the copyboard part of the website that we saw earlier. So yeah, okay, cool. Let's go back over here. Right, evaluating your results, and probably going to be the final part of this extremely long stream of 2.5 hours. Evaluating your results is something that's very hard to do because it's going to be the point where you either leave a trading strategy to run, increase the equity that you're putting into it, or stopping a trading bot, which is probably the hardest thing to come and do. This is where I built my $1 million plan, and as I said earlier, I'll be releasing this with today's video at 5 o'clock, which is in half an hour. We're going to be releasing the $1 million plan, where where I go through how I potentially would stop a trading strategy. Obviously, you're going to have to real-time monitor with your trading strategy, getting your current drawdowns, P&L, trade accuracy, slippage, latency, all of those kind of things are extremely important as algo traders. So your current drawdown is obviously the drawdown in specific time periods. So for example, if you don't want your trading strategy to go in more than X number of, or 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever it is, drawdown in a current period, a week, a month, a day, however long that period is. These are the kind of things that need to be written down inside of your live trading plan. The P&L, you need to keep an eye on the P&L. P&L, especially as you're diversifying as well, because you'll be setting certain amounts of equity to each strategy. You have to know how to differentiate each and every one of those strategy settings, and each and every signals and the entries that they've made. Keeping an eye on things like win rate and accuracy, making sure that it's continuing being accurate and taking those trades as it should do. Slippage is a big one and something that unfortunately you're a bit alone in the dark with. And at the moment, I'm trying to build some kind of way of recording slippage and things like that on the David Tech website, so we can see how long a trade on average takes to enter, and the difference between what is a trading view signal and what actually happens on the real market. Latency, things like that. Latency, we're always trying to improve on David Tech, but if you're using some other kind of system, what is the latency between trading view, 3-commas, for example, and over to your exchange? Is it fast? Is it slow? Does it take a couple of seconds? It depends on that trigger. So they're kind of things you need to keep an eye on, and planning for reasons to stop a bot. Is that latency too slow? Is there too much slippage on a coin pair? Is there number of frequency of trades? Are you expecting 1 trade per month and it's taking 10 per day? Or is it the other way around? It should be 10 trades per week and you're only getting 1. Those kind of things would be red flags, and something that you put into your optimization and forward testing plan. It also should be dragged over to your actual live trading plan as well. Expected drawdown, as I said earlier. Expected profitability. If you're risking money, you're expecting money back. If it's not making more than you'd get from simply for the buy and hold, maybe it'd be something that you shouldn't be trading, because you're obviously risking money to get more money out and to try and beat the market. So if you're not, maybe it's time to stop that bot. But everything's going to plan. It's this, you've got a trading strategy running. Hopefully it happens for you. It's happened for me a couple of times in the past. I wouldn't expect 100 trading strategies. It never ever works out that way. The most trading strategies that I've ever had running in one go was about 15. And that's after 3 years of backtesting live on YouTube and things like that. So yeah, don't expect too many to find too many, but the ones that do, but it's time to maybe increase the capital and maybe compound your trading strategy funds. You also have to work out a plan of what you're actually going to do with your funds. Are you going to take them out and convert them into a different, either into USDT, or are you going to put them directly into Bitcoin? Are you going to do that kind of thing? All of those kind of things should be put into your plan. Are they going to be used for living expenses? Are you going to compound them? All of that kind of thing certainly should be done and put into your plan. But you should always be reevaluating your results constantly, not over evaluating, because if you do, you will turn off bots. But you certainly should take it seriously. You don't want to destroy your account. Yeah, it's something important. It's something very hard to do. Okay, cool. But this is getting close to the end. I've got a couple more resources that I would like to share with you guys before the end. We have a couple of Google Sheets from the community, which I think our community is absolutely awesome, to be honest. We are a bunch of guys working together, trying to find the best settings, but we're not only doing that. There's people that just come up with some absolutely amazing Google Sheets and things like that. PDFs, books. The Google server is, the Google, I say Google, it's not Google, it's Discord GG/David Tech. If you go over to to that, you'll be able to connect to our actual Discord server. I think it's absolutely awesome. We have built some amazing things together. It certainly isn't thanks to me. It's thanks to everybody. I owe everything to the community. Let's have a look at some of these other resources very quickly. Those resources are this David Tech sort of mixed together, which was helped very much by Rudy from our group. came up with this idea, building this Excel spreadsheet where you can see all of the strategies actually live trading together in this Google, live Google sheet. You can see the link to the sheet. You've got the coin pair. You've got all of the incubation days, number of days it's trading in live outside of the back testing. You've got the back testing results, the forward testing results. We also have some delta, like the incubation delta, the difference between back testing and live trading, weighted scores, and all of those wonderful kind of things in this Excel spreadsheet. Now, this isn't the only one. We also have Fishy that's put together his trading strategies, and this sheet here, where that takes the information from the David Tech sheets and allows you to build your kind of plan of what we're actually trading. And just by putting in an ID of the trading strategy, it will get all of the data for you, so you can build those extra sub accounts and actually follow along with them very, very easily. So this was built by Fishy from our from our group. It was absolutely brilliant. Then we have another one here. Instead of using the David Tech search engines, we've got this one here, which is absolutely amazing. It helps us to filter out and find the best strategies. Not only does it do the David Tech strategy from this website, but we also have an optimizer channel, which has like 5,000 results in it from optimization. You can actually search through these by just changing the win rate here. I don't think this one's editable. No, it's not editable. You have to go up here and then make a copy. And then you can actually just copy through them, and then it'll search. Sorry, you copy this over to your own spreadsheet. You can then find the strategies that are most interesting to you. It comes up with the results. I think it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it's not me in the slightest that's built this. It's part of the members of the community. And I'm very, very proud of it. It really is the best community out there for algo trading and probably trading, because we're very transparent and we're working together to try and find the best settings and the best setups for it together. So good luck to everybody. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I know it's been a long one, about 3 hours almost. Thanks very much for watching me and joining me in this journey. Quite a few people. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on X. Thanks for joining me. Anybody got any questions? I'll happily go through those questions. I'm going to put a little bit of music in the background, maybe. Yeah, okay, we've got some music going on. I'm going to have a glass of water very quickly. I think it's before I lose my voice.
Wish you could slide into my mind.
Right, I think we're good, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is all going to be cut up into smaller sections, a little bit more digestible, which you'll be able to find on David Tech's website. You'll also be able to find all of the wonderful information about David Tech strategies and all of that on davidtech.com. Let me put that up here just in case. Let's go davidtech.com. There you go. Yeah, if there's anything I can help you with, we're all in Discord. Please come and join us. I look forward to meeting you all. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. I'm going to put some music on in the background and leave you with this outro. Take care, guys. Keep safe. Trade like a boss. Goodbye.
I know you like it. Baby, go and earn it.